Hi friends, my name is Shilpa. Today I'm going to teach about method overloading and method overriding. Let's get to the next topic. What is method overloading? Method overloading is a method which has same name but different parameters. It has different parameters which has a different data types. You know, parameters has to be assigned data types in method, right? The same way we overload the parameters in the method, we overload the methods in the class name, we overload the methods which has the same name in a single class or a different class, but the method is gonna be same name, and it will have a different types of parameters, different data types of parameters, and in a different orders, arranged in a different orders, and different number of parameters can be placed in the same methods. Example, let's get to the example. Oh, here there is a class and the class name as an adder, and it has a static int data type add method, and the same below there is a static int data type add data type. Those two methods have a same name. It means that it's a method overloading. That doesn't mean that it's a method overloading. If it has same parameters, same data types of parameters, same arrangement of parameters, then it's not a method overloading. It will show an error when you try to execute it. It will show an error. It will just consider first method and it will ignore second method. As a compiler, it will get confusion and it will ignore second method. A compiler needs to get clarity that it's a method overloading. How it will check? First thing, the data types of the parameters. A example, see here, add is a method and the parameters is a, b, int a, int b, and the parameters data type is int, right? Those two parameters data type at the first method you see. So if the method if the parameters data types are different, example there's int a and float b in the second method, same name, second method has float b, just it has same parameters but different data type in the parameter, in only one parameter, not in both parameters. It's okay, it has a difference, right? That's what important. Data types, it should be there should be change in data type, and there should be or there should be change in parameters. Example, in the above int a int b is given. If in the below, if in the next method overloading, int a int c can be given. The method in the method the parameter variable can be different. And if we talk about the third change, number of parameters can be different. Example, in the above add method overloading, there's a two methods, there's two parameters. And if we came to below method overloading method, it has three parameters, as you see. So that's what it makes a unique method overloading. And the inside body can be anything. It first one return a plus b, second one return a plus b plus c. It's all okay, but the parameters, while writing the parameters, you should be careful. You should make sure that there is any variation, the changes, so that compiler can take it as a method overloading. That's called method overloading. We'll overload values in the same name methods. Okay, we are here in class test overloading 1, a main class name. We are gonna execute both add methods. See here, in first add method there is a 11 comma 11. Then it's telling that int a is 11, int b is 11. As the first method add has two parameters, we have given two values in first output. Then if it comes to, it doesn't mean the first output. If you give three parameters in the first output, then it will take the second method. It will just do a plus b plus c output. It will return a plus b plus c output. And if you give only two value, it will return a plus b output. That's what the difference in variation. If you vary the output numbers which you want, the input numbers 11, 11, 11. If you give 3 input, the second one will is the second one takes, the body will be taken the second one of the method. In the same way, if the varies can be done according to method overloading rules. See, in this example, we have created two methods. First add method performs addition of two numbers. Second add method performs addition of three numbers. That's what the body is. We are performing addition here, and we are performing addition based on the method overloading concept. Okay, then let's get to the method overriding. Method overriding. What is method overriding? Method overriding is a feature that allows a subclass or a child class to provide a specific implementation of a method that is already provided by one of its superclass or parent class. When a method in a subclass has the same name, same parameters or signature, same return type as a method in its superclass, then the method in the subclass is said to override the method in the superclass. What it tells that it's similar, little bit similar to method overloading. See, it's okay to have a same name, but it's not okay to have a same parameter in method overloading. If it has the same parameter, then it's not considered method overloading. It can be considered some error or some other output to be shown. But if it comes to method overriding, it can have same parameters. It can have same return type as well. But the thing is that where it has been placed, as it has been placed in subclass or superclass or in one class. If it's all placed in only one class, there is no subclass or superclass, there is only one class, then it's not method overriding. It's error. It's error. It cannot be method overloading because same parameter is present. So it will show an error, or it will just ignore that second method. Just first method will be considered, second method will be ignored. Like that, the compiler will perform. But if it comes to method overriding, superclass, subclass, same method, same parameter, same return type can be present. It is called as method overriding. Let's get to the example of method overriding. Okay, class vehicle. Vehicle is a class name, and run is a method. It's a method. So we are printing that vehicle is running in the class name of vehicle. Okay, it's a superclass. Let's get to bike 2. Bike 2 is a subclass of a vehicle. How can we know it's a subclass? Because bike 2 extends vehicle. In inheritance, bike, if some class extends another class, then it considered class extends superclass. Then bike 2 is a subclass, vehicle is a superclass. And here, as we see in bike 2, there is a same method called as run. As in the vehicle superclass, there is a run method. The same method is repeated in bike 2. And here also it's painting bike is running safely. The thing is that there is no parameters here. There is no return types as well as only we are depending on only one type of characteristics, that is same name of a method. If there is the same name of a method or same parameter of a method with that, or in addition of that, if there is the same return type, then it can be considered as a method overriding if it's in superclass and subclass, right? Yeah, here there is a run method in bike 2 and run method as well in vehicle. It can be show different outputs, but the thing is that it has same name, so it can be considered as a method overriding, and it can be executed by storing the bike 2 run method information in using new we can store it in object. Why we store only bike 2 not vehicle? Because according to the Java inheritance, we cannot we can store vehicle, but vehicle doesn't point to the subclass because vehicle doesn't extends bike 2. Here, yeah, we told that bike 2 extends vehicle. Bike 2 is a subclass of a vehicle we are telling. But we are not telling vehicle is superclass of a bike 2. That's what the problem is. Bike 2 extends the vehicle, bike 2 links the vehicle, but vehicle doesn't link the bike 2. That's the problem. So if we try to execute bike 2, then automatically vehicle, the superclass gets executed. Object dot run, we are running it, we are using the method, and we are running it. What will be the output then? The output will be that vehicle is running, bike is running safely. Both outputs will come out, because as you know, if you execute subclass, then so automatically superclass as well as get executed. Why both output will come out? Why there isn't any error and one of the output did not came like that? There is nothing problem. Why? Because the method overriding. It has same name but in different classes. So it can be considered as a method overriding. Okay, let's get to the advantages of method overloading. Why method overloading is an advantage to the compiler or Java? Improved code reliability. Overloaded methods can have more intuitive names that clarify their purpose. What it means that it has improved code readability. We can read the code very well. Increased program clarity. It allows the creation of methods with the same name but different behaviors depending on the parameters. We can, like, there will be some future situations where we can't create the method with, it allows the creation of method with the same name but different behaviors and depending on the parameters. It means that there will be a situation where if you have to do a longer programs, example, you have to build a website of a Netflix or something like that, you need a, or you have to build calculator, you need a like addition programs, you need to addition different types of things, different variables. Example, you need to addition the variables and you have to need addition integers, and you have to addition variables and integers mix. You have to do three methods. Then those three methods in the same name, because you have to perform subtraction, division, different performance operations are present. So you don't want to get confused between them. We have to name the same method. So you decided to name the same method. That in that situation, method overloading can be used. If you differ the example, you see, normally I told you to add, we had decided to add variables. I decided to add integers. So numbers, variables like a plus b, we have to add, and here we have to add 10 plus 10. So integers a, integer b, one method will be is for integer addition. Second method will be string a, string b. So absolutely the method, the parameter data type has been changed. So it means that the method overloading, these type of situations, it will be helpful. Method overloading will be helpful. If we get to the flexibility, we can use method overloading. We can use method overloading by calling similar methods. We don't have to repeatedly call things. Like sometimes we don't have to repeatedly call. Or example, let's we take. We don't know that we are going to execute three variables addition or two variables addition. We don't know that. Our teacher has told just write a addition function or something calculation. Just write the program on that. We wrote the program, but that doesn't mean that. But if the teacher asks, write three variables and get the output, how can we get the output? In that time, this can be flexible. We can use same method name, but like you will already given two variables. You can have one more variable. You can add one more variable and you can get the output. See, it is flexible. We can flexible it in the emergency situations. Consistency. It helps in maintaining a consistent method, naming conventions across different operations. We can use that in a consistent method. We can name that in whichever format we want. So, method can be named in a whichever format we want. Subtraction operation, but you are naming it is addition. You can. Another method you want to do, but you want to do division on that, but still you are naming it as addition. Same method as same name, you can name it whatever you want, but you can have a different operations inside the method a body. You can have different operations. That's called consistency, and it's more helpful to read. It can be more easy. Disadvantages of overloading. What is advantages? There should be disadvantage if there is advantage, right? What is complexity? Having multiple methods with the same name but different parameters can sometimes confuse the programmer and make the code harder to read. You see, as I told you, addition we wrote the same name as addition for two methods. One is doing subtraction, one is doing division inside the body of the methods. So it's tough for a programmer if he's in a complex and big data or a big program to analyze which exact point he want, which exact module he want, which exact thread he want. To analyze that, it's quite difficult. It's complex. Okay, next point. Incorrect method calls. If not, wrong version of an overloaded method, leading to unexpected behaviors. As it tells, if we did not specify correctly, then it might lead to errors or some other unexpected behaviors. Okay, compile time errors. Overloading relies on the method signature at compile time. Overloading relies on the method signature at compile time, which can lead to errors if the signatures are too similar. What's my signature is parameters. Okay, as I told you, add int a int b, and another method has add int a int b. Then what's the difference? Or what's the difference? Yes, a compile time can show the error that it has same parameters, same signatures. So it's important to change something. If you forgot to change while executing, you know why you want two methods which has the same name. You're doing that, but you forgot to change the main thing what you wanted to change. But it will show a big compile time error, which will take a lot of time to solve it, and which will take a lot of time to finish the program. It's also we can call it as a little bit time consuming when it comes to solving the error of the problem. Let's look into the advantages of method overriding. Why we need method overriding? Because polymorphism. This is the main is a different forms, right? It's a different it's in the different forms. It allows subclasses to provide a specific implementation of a method that is only by its superclass. See, we already have run method in superclass vehicle. Why we need run method again in subclass bike 2? Because both are vehicle, we know that. Both are vehicles. Vehicle is a normal superclass, like it's a main heading or main thing which we call bike, car, all things. It's a main thing. For that, we had to tell that its vehicle has been started, and after telling vehicle has been started, we had to specify exactly which vehicle. Bike is started. To specify, or car is started, specify exact which vehicle we used run method. For that, polymorphism is really helpful. Polymorphism plays a vital role in this to to identify different forms in a single method name. You can use method overriding. Okay, runtime polymorphism. This or made are made at runtime. Okay, runtime polymorphism. Example, if you wrote 2 to 3 methods, which is method overloading. Okay, if you wrote method overloading, it's tough to analyze the method or a compiler or at a runtime to which method to call first. It takes the time, which reduces here. Method overriding reduces it because superclass and subclass. You think about it. We are going to call subclass, then automatically superclass gets called. We don't need to call superclass, we don't need to call subclass, we don't need to confuse more compiler by telling that call anyone like that. We don't need to confuse that. So it won't take time. It's dynamic. Making the programs more dynamic. So that's why it's more helpful for runtime polymorphism. Code reusability allows new or modified classes to reuse methods from the superclasses. See, we can use this code a lots of time. Example, you need to do addition, but it's not based on the variables or integers. It's based on the variables plus integers. We have to do both as well as in a single addition. We can use the same code, we can copy paste it, and or we can just add one more method with the same name, with different body function. We can change it and reuse the code by speeding the um, program process. Okay, let's look at the flexibility. Its subclasses can define how they behave by overriding methods. Subclasses can define how they behave by overriding methods, which make the code more flexible. You see, as I told you, we if we call subclass, automatically superclasses get activated and they will call itself. So, method overriding helps superclass means and subclass. So, method overriding behave in its own way, which helps flexibility, which is flexible. It doesn't throw error easily like a method overloading. It shows flexibility in method overriding. What is disadvantages of method overriding? Increased complexity. Overriding can make the code more complex, harder to understand, especially if there are many levels of inheritance. See, we saw only vehicle, we saw only bike, only two class names we saw. But what if there is class name like vehicle, bike, car, truck, and many more, ship, aeroplane, many more, like thousands, crores of class names, or even just 10 class names. Even just for 10 class names, it will take time to understand for us that which is a superclass, which is subclass, and for which superclass we are connecting. Example, bike 2 is connected to the superclass of vehicle, car is connected to the superclass of bike, but ship is connected to the superclass of vehicle. So see, it's confusing. We have to understand the linkage, and then we have to think which is gonna get executed. Which we have to first name the object. Which subclass we have to name the object to get the superclass executed, right? It's a complex to understand the code in a faster way. Incorrect method calls. If not managed carefully, it's possible to call the wrong version of an overloaded method, leading to unexpected behaviors. See, subclass, okay? Subclass. See, overriding method, okay, overriding method. If there is a like superclass has been missing something, there's gonna be problem. Like we cannot get to exact output which we want, right? It will be some variation. The output will not be connected to each other, so we get confused. We have to correct it. It will be called a incorrect method calls if there is something wrong with subclass. If you did not connect subclass object clearly, or if you did not connect extends clearly, if you did not link the with superclass, then there was gonna be for sure compulsory a little bit problem which will lead to a lot of incorrect method calls. Okay, compile time polymorph errors. As I told you, from that time there can be errors if there is something wrong with parameters which you specify, or data types, or anything rules like closing bracket, opening bracket. Example, for superclass you did not specify a closing bracket, you forgot about it. Oh my gosh, shit. Then in the subclass you extend the superclass, and you even executed it. You even specified the object and inputted the subclass in the object, and then executed the object. But it doesn't get the output what you want. You will get the output of subclass, you won't get the output of superclass for sure, because to access it you have to go through rules and signatures correctly, right? Whatever concept it is, in whichever java is a syntax based. So we have to be careful. There will be a compile time errors for sure. We have to be careful while specifying any even one line program writing. We have to be careful in that. That's what the main problem is. Okay, let's get to the method overriding Uh-huh. Same. Like, as sorry, I told you a method overloading, but it is almost same maintenance challenges. Like, it's tough to maintain the challenge or burden. All subclasses that override that method may need to be updated, which can be a maintenance burden. We have to update the situation, we have to update the subclass. Example, you connect a new subclass to the superclass, then you have to update the subclass, you have to update the object, you have to update the running objects. So it's maintenance challenges and performance overhead. Although minimal, there's a performance overhead associated with determining the correct method to call at runtime. Okay, let's get into the main difference between, like as I told you, method overloading is different parameters, different data types, and different order of parameters will be changed, but has same name methods in the same class. It's called method overloading. But overloading is, it can be in different classes names. It can be in different class name which has a connection between the two of them as a parent or child class, and in each class can have a same name, same name method, and same parameter and same data type of parameter, same order of parameter can be present. That's called method overriding. As I told you, it's an example in a graphical manner. Let's get to the next point. A difference between method overriding and method overriding: must have at least two methods by the same name, must have at least one method by same name in both parent class and child class. You see, two, if there is a one method in overloading, what why it's called overloading? It's not all overloading, right? If there is no two methods, then there is no same name, there is no, like, we can't differentiate anything. If we have one method, then it's called method, it's not called method overloading. And method overriding, we actually it has two classes, right? So even if it has one and method in one classes, it's called method overriding. But one thing, if the superclass should have the same name method of the subclass, because if there should be one method for sure in superclass which has the same name of subclass, or there should be one method of for sure of subclass or method of a superclass. Okay, because it should, two methods should be connected in some, in inheritance manner or in linking manner. So it's important. Here we method overriding, we had to give different number of parameters. Overriding, we can give same number of parameters, same data type. It's your wish. You can give different. It doesn't matter. But there should be parent class, child class for sure. It should not lie in the same class. Method overriding has one rule: it should not lie on the same class. Because if it lies, two methods lies in the same class, then it's not called as method overriding. It's called as method overloading. And if it has the same number of parameters, it's not at all method overloading, it's an error. Okay, if number of parameters are same, then must have different types of parameters. If number of parameters are same, then must have different types of parameters. Yes, if number of parameters are same, like there is a two parameter for first parameter for first method, two parameters for second method, but the different data types should be different, or the order should be different, something should be different in three things, and types of parameters also must be same. There is no thing called there is no rules called a difference in overriding. We can have, or everything can be same to same. Types of parameters, order, number of parameters whatsoever, everything can be same to same, but these should be in different classes. And method overloading known as compile time polymorphism, method of overriding known as runtime polymorphism. Why? Because method overloading runs at the compiling time. It checks and it will analysis. Method overriding checks and analysis at runtime and executes at runtime. Okay, then as the chapter is over, thank you for listening to me. Thank you.